So first question is, how will the melting of Himalayan glacier have far-reaching impact on the water resources of India? तो हिमालय से जो ग्लेशियर मेल्ट हो रहे हैं उसका क्या इम्पैक्ट रहेगा वाटर रिसोर्सेज पे? तो इट्स अ वेरी सिंपल क्वेश्चन. यू कैन इंट्रोड्यूस इट बाय सेइंग दैट as per satellite reports as per satellite reports by ISRO, since last 25 years Himalayan glacier have been melting at a speed of 0.5 meter per year. Why? Because of the adverse impact of climate change, making India's water resource very critical. Then you can draw a map and locate some of the glaciers like I have done. I have located Siachen glacier here, then we have Gangotri here, then we have Pindari here, and then I have made a graph here of the ice lost in billion tons on this axis and years on another axis. So from 1980s so say 2000 tak 4 billion tons ice were lost, but in the last 25 years we have lost just double. It is now 8 billion tons. Then as per the demand of the question, सीधे सीधे हम पॉइंट्स लिख देंगे कि what is the impact of melting glacier on water resources of India. So first is impact to surface water. So it will threaten our domestic water sources. Where the population is heavily dependent on glacier water for domestic and drinking purpose. Then second point we can write that retreating glaciers can impact livelihood of people in the Ganga, Brahmaputra and Indus river basin. So impact livelihood is another concern. Then we can write a case study about Ladakh. So drawing a map of India, marking Ladakh in it, and then writing that due to heavy reliance on glacial melting water, Ladakh is facing water storage and water crisis. Then second point is that groundwater related impact. So melting of glacier at a faster rate will increase the speed of water runoff at surface. उससे होगा क्या दैट दिस विल फर्दर इम्पैक्ट द वाटर पेनिट्रेशन. जो ज़मीन के अंदर पानी पेनिट्रेट करके ग्राउंड वाटर टेबल को रिचार्ज करता है, सो इट विल बी इम्पैक्टेड क्योंकि सरफेस से बहुत तेज़ पानी बह जाएगा, सारा पेनिट्रेट ज़्यादा करेगा नहीं, एंड दिस विल लीड टू स्ट्रेस ऑन ग्राउंड वाटर टेबल. सो 100% retreat of glacier will cause groundwater scarcity. Then the third is disaster. So melting of glacier can lead to calamities like glacial lake outburst flood. Here you can write the example of the GLOF of Sikkim that happened in 2023 October month. And at the end you can conclude the answer by saying Himalaya, also known as the third pole of the world, are facing threat due to anthropogenic activities, and if not taken care of, this issue will have impact on economy, environment and society. So this is how you can conclude this answer. Now coming on to the next question. This question says that present the salient features of Vindhyan system. So the first part of the question is we need to write about the salient feature of Vindhyan system and then highlight the economic importance of this system. Then we have to also highlight the what is the economic significance. Okay. So first we will introduce the Vindhyan basin. So Vindhyan basin is an example of Proterozoic. In Indian classification, this period is also known as Purana. So Vindhyan basin is an example of Proterozoic or Purana intercontinental basin and forms a dividing line between Ganga basin and Deccan plateau. It comprises of ancient sedimentary rocks superimposed on Archean base. Then we can draw a map where we can locate that this is the Vindhyan range, its extension. South of it is the Narmada river system. North of it is the Malwa, the Bundelkhand, So here you can write down in very brief. So which all states are uh, included in the Vindhyan system? So we have MP, we have UP, we have Bihar. Then what is the another significance? Sorry. So you can write that it is a physiographic divide between northern and southern India. Then what is the feature? What is the dominant feature? That it is a uplifted geosyncline sediment. So they are fold mountain, but they are also uplifted geosyncline sediment. Now, coming directly to the demand of the question and writing the salient features of the Vindhyan system. So first we'll write about the geophysical conditions. So they are fold mountain systems. General elevation is around 300 to 650 meter in parts of southern highlands also. Then lithographic characteristics. So composed of horizontally bedded ancient sedimentary rock. So the composition is horizontally bedded ancient sedimentary rock. And what is the characteristic of the rock present? Rocks are generally coarse, medium and fine textured. And the western part is covered with lava deposit. Then how it formed? So about formation we can write that formed due to upliftment of old geosyncline known as Bijawar geosyncline. So this geosyncline got uplifted and the Vindhyas were formed. Then we can write about the climatic condition and vegetation there. So it is generally dry conditions. Then vegetation which is dominant there is deciduous forest. So we can write vegetation is primarily deciduous forest. Then what are the some of the rivers there? So it is the Vindhyan system is a source for river like Ken, Betwa, Sindh. There are many minor ones also, but these three are good to go. Then now we have almost written one and a half page. So in a very short diagram we will cover the second aspect of the question, that is economic significance. What is the economic significance? That it is a keystone, it has keystone material for diamond industry. Basically that is diamond only, that which is found in your Panna site. Then rich sources for precious stone. Then building material for cement and glass industry. Apart from that it also has iron ore and manganese. So for cement industry it is important, for glass industry it is important, it has precious stone, diamond industry and also for manganese. So apart from this we can also write that the Vindhyan system is also important location for accommodation of tribal belts. So here we have tribal belts like Kond, Santhal and Bhil. And at the end we can conclude by saying that the Vindhyan system is a complex mountain range system which acts as a physiographic and also as a cultural division between northern India and peninsular plateau. That is how we can conclude this answer. Then coming on to the next question. The next question says that discuss the evidence related to the ongoing and recent process of Himalayan upliftment. So we have to discuss the Himalayan upliftment, and not only the recent one but also the historical ongoing upliftment which has been going on since the formation of the Himalayas. So we can introduce the answer by writing that the diastrophic movement which led to formation of the Himalayan system began around late Cretaceous period with the separation of Indian plate from Gondwana land. Continued through, and this process continued through the Eocene, Pleistocene and till today. So ऐसा बोल के we have mentioned very clearly that we have understood the demand of the question. So we are tracing the upliftment from Eocene till today also. That is what the question is asking also. So now first we can make a small box and write what are the evidences of Himalayan upliftment. So we have geotectonic activities around the Himalaya fault. Then we have rejuvenation of river. We have formation of nicks. Then the remote sensing satellite data also tells us that the Himalayas are increasing in their average height. We have a data around that thing. Then we also found fossil evidence, especially in the Shivalik ranges. Now, writing one by one the evidence which the question is asking related to the Himalayan upliftment. So the first evidence is skeletal remains and related evidence. So in Shivalik at around 1000 or 1500 meter height, at that height 1000 to 1500 meter height, we have evidences of skeletal remains of marine origin dating from Pleistocene age. So the skeletal remain of the Pleistocene age are at the height of 1500 meter. So it shows that some at some point of time that portion of the mountain of the Shivalik ranges must at be the sea level. That's why it is having the skeletal remains. Apart from this, we can also say that there are similarities between the fossil of Shivaliks and the Tibetan plateau. So there is similarity in the fossils of Shivalik and the Tibetan plateau, which provides enough evidence for the upliftment theory. Then we also have desiccation of the Tibetan lake. So there are evidence of stone and gravel of marine origin at higher elevation of around 700 meters. So there are stones and gravels which are generally found only in the marine ecosystem, but they are found at the elevation of around 700 meters. So this thing suggests that what we know today as a dried lake must have been at the sea level at some point of time, must have been close to the sea level. Then the third is the remote sensing and geological studies. So recent study suggests that the Indian plate is still moving with a high speed, that is 5 centimeter per year. Apart from this, there has been a significant increase in the average height. So earlier it was 2440 meter, now it is 3050 meters. So this shows that there is continuous upliftment of the Himalaya. Then apart from these, we also have evidences of volcanism. So for example, in the Kashmir there is a Lipa valley. So this is also evidence that there is upliftment. So basically tectonic evidence mein we can write the evidence of volcanism. Apart from this, we can write that geothermal activities are also prominent in places like Manikan, Pugga Valley, etc. Then it is also a high seismicity zone and there are active faults. For example, Uttarakhand is in falls in some part of zone 4 and also in zone 5. Then we have written almost 2 pages. Now one more point we'll write, then we'll conclude the answer. So river rejuvenation also provides us a strong evidence on Himalayan upliftment. Now we can conclude the answer by saying that Himalayan system, being a global hotspot, has immense resources and biodiversity. But in the recent past, there has been casualties around the system due to anthropogenic factors. This is basically we are mentioning about the casualties related which happened during mining of a field, and the tunnel got collapsed last year. And hence we need to focus on environment impact assessment and other measures. So this is how we can conclude the answer. Now coming towards the next question. So the next question demands that explain the changing river courses and their impact on the riparian population of India with suitable examples. So first we'll introduce by writing that changing of river course is a geomorphological process that involves the lateral migration of an alluvial river channel across its floodplain. It is an inbuilt mechanism in the alluviation process of the valley. So this is we have explained that what is the process which happened when the river is changing the course. Now in a small diagram in a box we can put the causes for changing of river course. So meandering is a cause for river changing its course. Then due to heavy discharge, because of earth movement, because of topographic factor, and because of headward erosion. So we can make a small diagram here. Then now coming on to changing river courses and their impact on riparian population, which is the core demand of this question. So we can write that first point, changes in river channel are significant in relation to flooding, rural and urban land use, as well as in relation to interpretation of past river development. So we have written down the first point and also the future predictions. So these three things, the past river development, the interpretation, and the future prediction. For these three purposes, we are establishing the importance of studying the river course changes. Now, river shifting adversely affects the pattern of agriculture. It affects the pattern of settlements. It affects the food production also. So here we'll write now example, because the question asked explain with example. So here we'll give the example of river Karvanur. So river Karnur is in the Thrissur district of Kerala. What happened here is, and the Kannur river has wreaked havoc in 2018. So what it did, it destroyed large tract of land and washing away a key 2.2 kilometer stretch connecting two national highways between National Highway 17 and National Highway 47. So there was a 2.2 kilometer road which was washed away by this river changing its course. Then another case study will write about the Arunachal Pradesh. So there are many rivers of Arunachal Pradesh. You can mark them on a map, and then we will write that many rivers including Bikram, Bogi, Ranga, etc. originating from Arunachal Pradesh changed course due to heavy spell of rainfall leading to submergence of many villages. Like there was a Bango village. It was completely submerged due to the floods which came in Arunachal Pradesh. Then another case study we can, or example we can give about Bihar, the Kosi River. So in 2008, everyone know that Kosi River is also known as the sorrow of Bihar. Why? Because in 2008, the Kosi River changed its course and inundated area, which were presumed to be safe from floods, and this caused around 50,000 plus casualties officially recorded. So we can give these three examples, and after that we can continue our next point, that beside all natural changes in the river courses, anthropogenic activities have intensified and accelerated such events. So we are also mentioning about the anthropogenic activity. Apart from the visible impact on human life, a number of endangered, endemic, and threatened flora and fauna species are also at a risk. In the riparian state due to changing river course. So the flora, the fauna, the species which are threatened, the species which are endemic and are endangered or critically endangered, are also at the threat due to changing river courses. Then we can conclude the answer by saying that there is a need for advanced remote sensing and topographical mapping, which can explain the changes in the river bank due to various natural and man-made activities and help us take proactive mitigation efforts. Our discussion is on flash floods. So it says that flash floods are becoming recurrent in the Himalaya as well as in the parts of India. So examine the climatic and anthropogenic causes behind the phenomena. So we have to write about the climatic as well as the anthropogenic causes behind flash floods in India. So we can introduce by writing that flash floods, the definition of flash flood. Flash floods are localized sudden surge of water level during or after an intense spell of rain like cloudburst, and the situation get worsened by the choked drainage lines. Recently, the Himalayan state of Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, and Jammu Kashmir witnessed damage to life and livelihoods due to flash floods. After that, we can make a small box and write the incidence of flash floods. So we had in Himachal Pradesh and Jammu Kashmir region due to cloudburst. In Mumbai 2021, we had flash floods. In Bangalore, almost every year we have flash floods. In Hyderabad 2020, we had flash flood. Then in Kedarnath 2013, we had flash flood. So there are two factors: natural factors and anthropogenic factors. So natural are glacial lake outburst flood, there is cloudburst, there is torrential monsoon, then there is cyclone and thunderstorm. And in anthropogenic factors, we have dams, we have Venturi effect, we have urban heat island, we have encroachment, we have done encroachment of wetlands. So these are the anthropogenic factor. So theoretically, flash flood refers to a flood situation with less than 6 hours between occurrence of rainfall and peak flood. तो जो रेनफॉल है और पीक फ्लड है उसके बीच में सिर्फ 6 ही घंटे का टाइम होता है उससे भी कम. सो दैट कंडीशन इज नोन एज द फ्लैश फ्लड. सो नाउ the answering the first part of the question, what are the climatic reasons? So for, or we can say what are the natural reasons. So the first is cloudburst. So extreme atmospheric event leading to sudden and heavy rainfall leading to floods. So as per IMD, rainfall will be more than 1000 meter within 1 hour of time, and it is confined to a smaller region, that is 20-25 kilometer only. So this is your cloudburst. So example of this is the Kedarnath. In 2013 Kedarnath there was a cloudburst and we have witnessed the flash floods at the bank of Chorabari Lake. So the bank of Chorabari Lake collapsed due to this cloudburst associated flash flood, and there were more than 5,500 casualties. Then second factor is glacial lake outburst flood, GLOF. This we had in 2023 recently in the Sikkim.